Alright, this borders are ridiculous. This pulley only goes on one way. You've got to be kidding me. And the way I found out is I got 2 bolts in and couldn't get a third. If you like this video, if it helped you out, do me a favor, subscribe. That helps me out immensely. Don't cost you a penny. It's free, right? What else in this world is free? Hey there, YouTubers. It's Friday night. Not really my favorite way to spend a Friday night, but I'd rather spend it out with the wife or, just chilling. But, I love the Beamer. She's a good, reliable car, and she still is. But her water pump is starting to sound like a butter churn. Actually, I think it's squeaking. Not good, let's put it that way. And the thermostat is acting wonky. Though she's still drivable and still reliable at this point, I've got to use her quite a bit in the next couple of days. My truck decided to kick the fuel pump loose, and so I got to fix that too. And since the part isn't here for the truck yet, I figure we'll try to get the Beamer done first. It's a little bit daunting, no lie. It's tight in there. Tighter than my wife's purse. You know what I'm saying? Can't squeeze a penny out of that girl. But same here. It's super tight between the water pump and the radiator and the shroud and and Germans aren't little people, because I'm mostly German and I'm not a big guy, but it's still, even for me, it's going to be rough. But I'm going to try to get you all in here to see exactly what's going on. I think I've got a plan. Probably not going to work, but I got a plan. Didn't watch any YouTube to figure this out, because the last time I did that with my truck, I ended up doing stuff that it just didn't go well. Let me put it to you that way. So I'm just going to figure on it myself. It looks to me like if I take the top radiator hose off and the airbox, now the airbox doesn't look too difficult, then I can scoot everything to the side, and I should be able to get in there and take the 4 bolts out that hold the water pump on, get the fan out. I think I can squirrel it past the shroud, and so on and so on. Kind of show you as we go. We may succeed, we may fail and have to go at it another way. Hopefully succeed, but let's go ahead and get started, see if my plan works out. If it doesn't, we'll see what it's going to take to make it happen. And in case you're wondering, I'm underneath the Corvette. Yeah, it's I don't know how long this job's going to take, so I don't want to get the car outside and have to shuffle things around when things are broke. So I'm going to see if we can't get it running here. Alright, anyway, let's get started. Now I know this seems a little crazy because this really has nothing to do with the water pump. This doesn't have to be done. But I like room to work, and there isn't any in this project. So I'm thinking if I can take this air box up, yep, I'm pretty sure if I just pop it here, we're good to go. I'm thinking, let's see, how does this come off here? I think it just pops off right here. Thinking if I just pop these off, this out of here, it'll give me just a little bit more room to work. You know what I mean? Oh, it goes that way. What do I know? Okay. Alright, so I'm thinking if I just pop this out, come on baby, will this just come out like this? Or is there more to this than meets the eye? Nope, I don't think so. Let's see, will this come up now? It's hanging up on something right here. Oh, there we go, it's coming right out. It's got the little snorkely thing going on that sucks up some cold air. But alright, so we're going to put this aside and see all the room now. Woo! And I got to take this off. We're not going to get a screwdriver in there. But now I've got plenty of room over here to get at this one if I want to. I could take this hose right off if I want. And that'll give me some more room over here. Once this hose is gone, I should be able to get at these 4 bolts over here. I'm going to have to readjust here. Here we go. I should be able to get at these 4 bolts here that take the pulley off the water pump. And let's see, make sure. Oh no. This is one of those. Well, that's not such a bad thing, really. This has one of those nuts that you smack and the fan unscrews that way. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let me see if I can. Man, I don't know if I can get you in there. We'll try. Let's see. Now, if you remember what I said about my truck, okay, I wasn't sure if this was right hand or left hand thread. And if you watch the video on the 3500 Dodge, I tried turning it for right hand threads for hours and to no avail. Come to find out, it was a regular everyday left hand thread. So it just comes off the regular way, going that way. Well, the way to tell, and this is what I had to do here, the way to tell is when the engine runs, which way does your fan turn? Okay, you can tell by the contour of the blades on this fan that the fan is turning clockwise. Okay, so to unscrew it, what happens, well, let me explain it to you this way. When the engine starts, if the fan's going this way, when the engine starts, it's going to make the fan go this way, right? It's going to turn clockwise. So you want the fan to tighten every time you start the car or accelerate. To do that, the threads would go counterclockwise, okay? Because when the engine starts, it's going to tighten that fan blade, okay? It gets a little confusing, but judging by this fan, see, my truck's fan would turn counterclockwise when it ran. This one's turning clockwise. So in order for this to tighten every time it starts, you would have to turn it clockwise. Okay, so whatever direction the fan is turning, that is the way it unscrews, if that makes any sense. Okay, so we're going to give it a little whack this way, and sure enough, there it goes. Okay, easy peasy. That is the only real way to do it because I had no idea which way this turned, and I did give it a couple of whacks as you saw going counterclockwise, which would be the way the trucks came off, but this one is actually going the opposite way. So we're going to take it off the opposite way. And we're just going to spin this fan blade off of here, and hopefully it's not going to go through the radiator when it gets loose. Oh yeah, and I meant I'm going to. That's right. I got to take this hose out because it's going to. We're going to try. That's why I moved that air box. We're going to try to sneak everything out that way. So let me get a wrench. I think it's like 1/4 inch-ish. I used a, what size did I use on this? I used a 1.25 inch wrench, which is a tiny bit big, but when you start getting that big, a millimeter or two isn't going to work, isn't going to matter. So going from 1.25 inch to 20, 30, whatever it is, millimeters, like I like to call them vanilla meters, it's not going to make much difference. So I had a little slop, but it went out okay. So I'm going to get a socket. We're going to get this hose out of the way, and then once this fan comes loose, it should come right out the side here where we moved that air box. These clamps are 8 vanilla meters, or vanilla wafers if you're hungry. Oops. Now that's not going to work. I've got to go the other way. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, I always say, which is actually not my saying, but I'm going to steal it for now. So we're going to take this off of here. La, 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 la. I'm sure this is very interesting to watch. Well, taking it off, knowing how, is definitely going to be interesting, but, you know, this sitting here, zing, 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 probably not the most fun thing to watch. Why does it seem like it's not going anywhere? Well, I guess it is, just a little slow, very slow. Oh, yeah, it's plenty loose now. All right, come on, baby, there we go. All right, get that one loose. I think we're going to go ahead and get this one loose, too. We're just going to take that whole hose right out of there. Get her out of there! We're going to probably get a little spillage. But once we get this fan out of here, it's going to give us lots more room. There we go. There we go. Oh, not too bad on the spillage. I can hear the water inside the tube, though, so it's probably going to spill when I pull this one. Yep. Oh, there we go. Lovely. So lovely. Hey, we're going to just put this right back in here. Oh, I don't know. I think that might be... Is that windshield washer fluid? Yeah, that's windshield. Whoops. Don't want to put it there. maybe here. Now that stuff ain't looking real good anyway. I'm going to tell you something though. Look at this. It's ridged. It's not smooth like American cars. It's got ridges, and these hoses didn't stick at all. I kind of like that, don't you? And Germans, they're pretty slick. This stuff looks plenty slippery, but it's kind of, I don't know. I think it's time for a change anyway. So, that being said, we can now, this is the thermostat. Now we're going to go ahead and finish taking off this fan. And I'm going to try to do it here. Oh, don't tell me you're hitting the radiator. I'm not going to be happy about that. What's it hitting? It's hitting something. It's nowhere near the radiator, so I don't know what it's hitting. Oh, it's hitting the shroud right here. Well, that's not a big deal, because if we have to, we can just turn. I don't know, it's not going to turn that way that easy. It's like right there it goes. Okay. Now, can we get it past the shroud's going to be the question. I'm going to pull it up. It's going to be a dinger. It's going to be a humdinger. Come on, there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, my aching back. This car is way too low. Oh, it's got two belts. That's great. And the one we're going to change is the one in the back. Fantastic. All right. All right. Now, let's see. We got to take this hose clamp off. And we're probably going to take... Where's the tensioner on this thing? Hello? Where's the tensioner? Yoo-hoo! Tensioner! Oh, and there's some kind of a hose that's disconnected. Oh my goodness. Some kind of a hose that's disconnected over here. And it's been rubbing the belt for quite some time. That might be the noise I've been hearing. It may not be the... No, I checked the pump. It's the pump. So what does this thing do? Goes into the back of the alternator? That's wild. Okay. So we have an alternator cooler here that I'm going to have to fix. But it's not... I don't know. Weird. Okay. It's been off for years. We're going to have to fix that because we don't want it rubbing the belt on the new one. Alright, right here, there's a little plastic cover. And it's just covering that nut. I pulled that little plastic cover off. I'm just going to undo that nut. And this is a concentric doohickey-da-da. And that's a technical term, doohickey-da-da. And it's going to, should... allow me to get this belt off of here. It doesn't seem to be moving. Oh, come on, baby. I suppose I could take it right off. It's not very tight right now. Pretty darn loose. There we go. She was just hanging up a little bit. Okay. So that loosened it up quite a bit, but not loose enough. Somehow this looks like it's a, let's see that. Let's see if we can get that in there. That looks like it's actually a tensioner down here, but you can't see nothing. Yeah, that's a 15 mil as well. So, now this I don't think is going to be an electric ratchet kind of deal. Now I'm going to have to get a deep, I'm going to need a deep, I'm sorry, 16 mil. I'm going to have to get a deep socket, and I think what we're going to do is pull that up, and I think we put a pin in right here, and that holds it in place while we take this. I don't know why we would have two ways to tighten the belt, but I'm not going to argue. Germans, they build some stuff. Okay, I was correct. This is a tensioner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try. That is what that hole is for. It's not a missing bolt. We're going to push this down. We're going to pull this up until I can catch that little hole there. There we go. There we go. Okay. I used a drill bit, so it's nice and sharp. That way I can catch my hand on it and bleed later. But there we go. Now we can get the belt off. Alright, so we're that much further into this thing. See, this was a good idea, because I got lots of room over here now. And so let's take a look at how the belt went. So it went under here, over here, you know, like this. Went under that tensioner, over the alternator, over the water pump, around. Oh yeah, that's right, and I can't get this belt off of here because, oh again, maybe I can. Nope, because the air, oh man, the air conditioner belt looks terrible too. Yeah, that's great. Yep, can't get that one off of there without taking the air conditioner one off. And of course we're going to have to get, nope, that's got a tensioner as well. Same thing, I'm going to have to pop that little cover off. And I don't know why they put those covers, I guess to keep them from rusting? Protect the bearing? I don't know. Alright, sure enough, they changed it. And let me see if I can get this out of here without destroying the radiator. Alright. And, of course, injury, because I put that, there we go. It's actually a, yep, we're not going to be able to tell what size this is. It is a 8mm hex head. That's what the one, excuse me, to loosen the air conditioner belt, which I'm going to call them right now and see if I can't get one of these, because that's not looking too good either. And in spite of the fact that I really don't care about an air conditioning belt, there's no point in me putting that one back on. So let me go make a phone call real quick, stop this leak on my arm, and we'll get back to going at it. Well, now I've got to try to get these bolts off of here without... That wasn't so bad. Wow, okay, well, try it again. Okay, well, so far, so good. Alright, so far I am loving these Germans, okay? Is that plastic? Seriously? No, I guess it's, I think it's, well, I don't know. I think it's either plastic or graphite or weird. Well, it works, so I guess no complaints. Ultra lightweight. Now I've got to the water pump. Look at that. You know, and it's not squealing. So I'm wondering if the water pump, they don't feel bad at all. Well, we're in here now, right? Because that don't feel bad. It was growling pretty hard. Let me see if it's the fan. Oh no, it ain't the fan at all. The fan is stiff, stiff, stiff. Well, we're here, so we're taking it out. We still have to get the hose off over here. Alright, we have to adjust the camera a little bit on that one. Right here. Okay, gonna try to get this. This one's a little tight. Get this in here. Get that hose off. Alrighty. This one's a little bit on the tight side. Come on, baby. Oh no. No, I think that's good. Just have to loosen it some more, I reckon. You get spoiled using electric and pneumatic tools all the time, so when you have to do it by hand, you're like, boy, this is slow, you know? This one doesn't want to cooperate. Cooperate! It won't cooperate! It's definitely loose. Let's see if we can't get it to come loose over here. Come on, baby. There we go. Come on. Here we go. Yay. Okay. And again, this has those ridges, so it should come right off. I'm not even seeing where it starts and where it stops on the hose. There it is, right there. Weird. Okay. Now this is a plastic housing, and when I bought the pump, when I bought the thermostat, they asked me if I wanted a housing, and now I see why. Because this being plastic, I'm guessing that they probably crack. And so I went ahead and got the housing because it was like $3 more for the housing. So I went ahead and got it. This is being a booger-doo. Booger-doo, that's technical terms again. Well, you can't really get your hand in there either. That's part of the problem. I'm going to have to put my body in your way here so I can get a hold of it. There we go. Ta-da! Oh, spillage. Alright. So we got that done. And now, and I can actually see the bolts here. One's bigger. I don't really understand the concept behind that. But this one right up here is bigger than the other three. There's one over the top of this bulb. There's a little cutout for it. And then there's two more on the bottom. So we're going to have to use deep sockets. I think this one is probably, I'm going to say that looks like 11 or 12 millimeters. First one right here, this bigger one, is 13 mil. And there we go. As tight as it is, so far, it's not been a horror show. Now these other ones are 10. I'm going to loosen this one. I'm just going to loosen it until I can get these other ones off of here. If I can even find them. They're going to be kind of difficult. There's one, okay. Right about here. There we go. You cannot, and I repeat, cannot see these. So you're just going to have to go with the old finger eyeballs and feel for it. But again, clearing out all this stuff over here made it so that I can get in here. I'm going to get the socket, put it on there, just unscrew it by hand. Okay, got it. Alright. I'm going to do the same with this one. We're going to feel for it with the old finger eyeballs. And it's got to be, there it is. Got to be somewhere. Where did that? There it goes. And we're going to get our ratchet on there. Crack it loose. Now you'll see, I'm going to go ahead and change this water pump. For whatever reason, I don't hear anything that sounds like it's going. That's not real good, that tensioner, but it's not horrible either. But the water pump feels fine. But it was squeaking pretty hard. So I don't know, let me try this tensioner. Nope, that one feels fine too. And I put a stethoscope down on this water pump, and it was, you could hear it squeaking. It's not squeaking now. It's not as obvious as my truck's was. But we're going to change it out anyway because we're in here. Going to go this far, we're going to go ahead and take care of it. It's like doing a timing belt on cars that have a timing belt. If you're going to go down that far, you might as well change the pump. Okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and get this last one on the top here. Not real keen on the use of plastic. But, of course, I'm bragging on this car, but she's only got 80,000 miles on her. 80 something, so I mean it's not exactly a high mileage car. That little Sonoma has 260 something. My diesel truck has 360 something. My Corvette has 140 something. The C4 Corvette has 200 well, a lot of them have 60 something, but 260 something thousand. So I mean, this car is like brand new compared to all of those. But anyway, we're going to spill some more fluid, obviously, because got the bolts out. Here we go. And I was a little bit curious why when they asked me if I wanted to go, ooh, I don't like the looks of that. That milky looking stuff. That's weird. I don't know. This car just started running warmer than usual. I hope to God it isn't because we got milky stuff in there. That's a little scary. And let's see what my thermostat looks like in there. It ain't coming out all that easy. Sometimes the problem with these things is they, uh-oh, come on. And my light bit the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one down, and another one down, and another one bites the dust. Alright, hang on, I gotta get another battery. Well, this bugger was, I had to bust it to get it out. I actually had to put a hole in the side here, and I used that hole to get this pick in there, and I pulled the gasket out. That gasket, believe it or not, even it's a rubber gasket, it was about welded in. I mean, this is it right here. And that bugger was just about welded in. Once I got the gasket out of the way, this popped right out. But it takes about 2,000 pounds of manpower to get that thermostat to open. Now, I probably boogered it a little bit, but man, she's pretty tough. And like I said earlier, I was worried about that milky. It's not milky anywhere else. It was only milky in the housing. So what I'm thinking is condensation forming from the cold weather and what have you. This housing is still in very good shape. So we're going to put it on inventory. But I do have a new aluminum one And you know, I use that drill right there and it's just threatening to cut me to pieces. But it is what it is. Okay. So these look like 10 millimeters. Maybe not. Maybe smaller. Let's see. Oh, that's not a 10. That's why. Alright, here's a 10. So we're going to go ahead and take this water pump out since we're in here. And that will work. So let's go ahead and zing them out of here. These are actually nuts, not bolts. So we have to be extra careful not to lose them. Because little tiny 10 millimeter bolts, or nuts, will probably disappear rather easy. Okay, we're going to need a short extension to get past it from this angle. So let's go get one of those. Alright, I got the water pump undone. There we go. Now I did drop one and it went into the abyss. So we're going to have to see if I can't find that later. And let's see if we can't wiggle this thing out of here. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on out of here. Sure I got them all? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got them all. Come on, baby. Come on out of there. Bang on it a little bit more. Try it from this side. I keep thinking there's another bolt, but I can't feel one. I think I'll go get the other. It's pretty loose though. I don't think it's going to have. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, little doggy. I'm going to go look at the new one. I don't think it'd be this loose if there was still a bolt on there. Alright. Oh, finally. Alright. Woo! There goes all the water. So, that doesn't feel real bad. And I don't know. It don't sound. It's not obvious, that's for sure. But we're here. So we're gonna do what we gotta do. It did have some little screw holes right here that I imagine could help us pop it off, because it was a humdinger to get this thing off of here. And you know, it's hard to say that that was bad. Something was definitely squealing. And this can only go on one way. Interesting. Alright, well, we're going to change it out anyway because we're here. But it doesn't seem like this was my squealy problem, but neither is this, neither is this. Well, that maybe. And neither was this. So, maybe it was the air conditioner. Nope, wasn't that either. Maybe water pump? Nope. I mean, power steering pump? Alternator. Holy Moses. That thing takes, that's a tight bearing on that thing. Anyway, none of it seems to be my problem. But I got the new one. It's lifetime warranty. We're going to stick her in there. I could be wrong. I think it'll only go on one way. Well, that looked like a crack for a second there. But what you want to look for on any water pump is a weep hole. See this right here? That's a weep hole. And that's where if it starts to go bad, the seal goes bad, it's going to weep out of that hole on the bottom where you can't see, of course. Now, I put a little bit of grease around this, and that way it'll slide in nice and easy. Fortunately, nobody's been in here with Permatex, so we're just going to slide that on. It's going to be a bit of a humdinger. That's why I didn't want to come out either, is that seal is really, really on there. So we're going to have to try to get these caught and just pull it in slowly with the nuts. That's not going to want to go, so here we go. Wow, that's really, really. So hopefully we can get each one of them caught. Oh my goodness, it's going to be just as hard to get it on as it was to get it off. Yep. So let's see if we can... Oh, there we go. The grease helped immensely on that. So we got it in there. Yay, okay, we don't have to pull it in with the bolts. It went right in. So let's get these, or nuts I should say. So the nuts. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. What is going on? Oh, it's crooked, that's why. Come on, baby. Let's do the twist. Here we go. When we're trying to put a nut on, you gotta twist it like this. In early morning and early night. Can't get my fingers in there till the hoppers blue light. Good golly, Miss Molly, I sure like the ball. Good golly, Miss Molly, I can't find the other nut. I'm gonna have to go search the abyss to see if I can find that other nut. Alright, I got it. Of course, it rolled under the exact center of the car. And this car's lower than a frog's butt. So, I had to get a magnet to try to reach it. Alright, I think we're where we need to be. And I wouldn't think that these have to be very tight, just because they've got an O-ring keeping the seal, so we just need to snug these. And I'm not really sure. I'm just gonna make sure they're not gonna come loose, but we don't want to snap them either. Come on, baby. Where'd it go? I'm on the wrong. There we go. Come on, baby. Here we go. Oh, for crying out loud. With this little tiny ratchet, it's not likely you're going to over-tighten them anyway, but I still wouldn't put a lot of guts to it. Let's see, where'd she go? Golly, Sergeant. Kind of blind over here. Here we go. Yeehaw. Alright. Torque to 20-something foot-pounds. There we go. Yeah, it feels about right. Oh, yeah. That's just right there. Oh, my aching back. Alright. Now, before we go too much further, oh yeah, that's a lot tighter. Before we go too much further, we want to put the other housing on. And the thermostat. Again, I put some grease around it. Got the thermostat ready to go in. And I'm going to try putting it in, see if it'll hold itself in there. There we go. It will not. Well, it's not a... thing to do here. Alright, well, there it is. Alright. It's holding itself. I think we're going to try to get... It's so tight in there. Egads, Watson. I don't know if I should... This is probably the easiest one to get at right here. Maybe not. Or maybe this bottom one. I don't know. I guess we'll just throw this on there, and I think we're going to try to go with this one. Oh my goodness, is that seriously? Yep. You have to squeeze it in. Alright, well that kind of helps a little actually. There's a bracket right here that you had to kind of squeeze up in between. So I think that actually helped me. Of course I can't really see if I've pinched that. I think it all looks good. So, alright. We're going to get I guess we can get this one in there, because it goes through that bracket. There we go. And then we're going to get one of these other ones. See if I can't get those started, and I think once we get those started, we'll be golden. Alright, and gold is good. Alright, come on, baby. Okay. Yep. I think that's good right there. Just do a couple of cranks on it. Oh yeah. There we go. We don't want to sock it up yet. We want to leave it loose, because we got to get the rest of these in. Alrighty. Golly, this car's killing my back. Old age. Not good. Alright. Usually with the fingers, you got to use the old finger eyeballs again. There we go. Here it is. You can't see it. That's the problem. You can't tell if that gasket shifted or... I don't like that. I really don't like that at all. There's that one. I'm going to get a mirror before we tighten this down. I'm going to get a mirror. Try to look down inside there and see if maybe... I don't know what that is. And it's right next to the hole. There we go. I don't know if that's the hole. I don't think it is. If it is, we're messed up because it ain't going in. Alright, let's see. That's definitely a hole. That's got to be it. Oh, I see what it is. That is it, but because of the... Alright, let's see. It's slicker than snot because of the antifreeze leaking. But I think I got it. We're just gonna have to golly, come on, Sergeant. There we go. Egad, Watson. I would speed this up, but you'll miss the tediousness of this. It's doing well. I mean, I'm not complaining. Now I've got it. I think it's starting to pull it in. Okay, now I'm going to get that mirror. I'm going to take a look and see if I got that O-ring pinched or not. Time to put the pulley back on. The hard part's going to be, it doesn't have a centering thing on it, or does it? Well, maybe it does. But we got to find, I'm going to put the bolt at top dead, and I'm going to put this one at top dead, and see if I can't get it to. Golly, this is going to be fun. Usually putting them back together is the easy part. But with it being so tight in here, this is not going to be so. Oh, brother. Let's see if I can get this. Alright, this borders are ridiculous. This pulley only goes on one way. You've got to be kidding me. And the way I found out is I got two bolts in and couldn't get a third. So, and there's no markings to tell me which one goes where. So what I did is I got a couple of smaller bolts that just kind of slide in. And I'm just going to put those in to see if they line up. And if they do, then we know we're in the right area. So, we're just going to put these in one by one. There's one, okay. Let's see if we can get this one to go in. There's two. Well, actually, I think if those two line up, the rest should. There's three. If I can get, oh shit. If I can get three of these in, I should be able to get the fourth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get the fourth one to thread. And that should put me in the right spot. I just got lucky. You know, the second time, now if I tried to thread these in, that wouldn't have happened. But now I use that little tactic. But yeah, BMW in their infinite wisdom decided that the pulley would only go on one way. That pulley weighs virtually nothing. I can't imagine it being out of balance at all. But that's how they did it, so that's the way, they did it, but I don't like it. No, I don't. Nope, That's the way they did it, and I don't like it. Okay, that's not how the song goes, but it's alright. Finally, everything's going together, and now I'm going to leave those little bolts there, and I'm going to look at them later and go, oh, where do those go? Alright. So I made that look easy, but trust me, it wasn't. Alright. And this actually can only go one way. It's got an eccentric key in it, but it's got a doohickey right there that can only go on one way. So I don't understand what's going on here. Whatever. Anyhow, there's some funky stuff going on with this thing. But we're putting it together now, so funky or not funky, we're putting her together. These were 10 mil, no? Or were they smaller? Yeah, they were 10. Okay, so let's zing those on there. Oh, I need a shorter socket. 10 millimeter short socket. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to definitely need a chiropractor or something after this one. This car's slow. I can't believe how low it is. I should know because I get in and out of it all the time. Da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, that's good and tight. Alright, now, where am I? What am I doing? Oh, hey, I think, no, I can't be. I think. It can't be. But I'm seeing it. Right here, right before my very eyes. It is, oh, lights are shining in my eyes, that's just great. Okay, there we go. Alright, can you see that? I guess, kind of, sort of, not really. I guess it's time to put the belts on. Well, I'll be dipped in a horse buggy. I think this one we're just going to tighten it down because even though it's on a concentric or eccentric or asymmetrical, whatever, it's not the tensioner. So we're going to zing that down real quick. Which was it? This one? Yeah, but I needed the... I think it was this one. Yep. So we'll zing that one back because I don't think it had to loosen up. I don't really understand why it's got that concentric ring, but or eccentric what? Alright. That's weird, but that's the way it is. I probably should have replaced those while I'm in here, but that's not that big a deal, as we found out here. Alright, so the bigger belt first. Remember I asked why this had the eccentric washer? Well, I just figured out why. You cannot get this belt on this if you don't turn this so that it shortens up the belt. Of course, now I've got to try to get the belt past it, and that's not an easy task either. So I'm putting this back on here, and pulling up on it, pushing it under here, and there we go. Jeez wheezy. I think they make things, don't get me wrong, they build a fantastic car judging by the way this thing's built. But some things are just ridiculous. That's one of them. That just doesn't... why you would do that? I guess just to get the belt that much tighter? I don't know. But now I got to take this and turn it until it doesn't want to turn now. Until that little peg goes where it's supposed to go. It's almost there. Let's zing it in a little bit. Oh. Let's there's a little pin right here, so it has to get in that pin, and I'm going to sock that up. That's a pretty large bolt, so we put some pressure on it, and then that belt is on there, folks. Let's take a good look at it, make sure it's on everywhere. Wrong. One little $1 lights from Harbor Freight, but they work. It looks right. Alright. That one's good. Now, we got this one. Yay! This one has, let's see, we had the, oh man. This is nothing special, it's just a regular tensioner, so I'm going to spare you that. Got 2 items left. One's the fan. So we got to work this thing in here. Got to try to get it in the inside the shroud. That's gonna be one of the tricky tricks. I think, if I remember right, I came in high. There we go. Going that way. There. Okay. Now, remember, this is going to be reverse thread to put it on. So we're going to try to... Come on, baby. There we go. Spin it on this way. Once you get it caught, it's easy peasy. You just spin it until it stops. There we go. Now it's got a clutch fan, so we're going to take our wrench and we're going to do the same thing we did to get it off. We're going to give it a couple of smacks. Here we go. So that's on. I'm a little bit worried about these belts because that air conditioning belt was a hoo-ha. It really was. And I had shut the camera off because me struggling with that was probably not, going to be all that interesting to watch. So let's put these hoses back on. I sure love these ridged. Come on, baby. I love these ridged spouts, I guess you call them. And there we go. This one I'm going to aim upward because that way I can get it with a screwdriver next time if I have to. Same with this other one. I mean, this worked fine, but I always worry a little bit putting hose clamps on with a ratchet because you can over tighten them. There we go. Alrighty. Now I'm going to start this without the air box in it because I want to be able to look and check to make sure the belts and everything are working good. I can see everything I've done to check for leaks. And I'm going to have to put some fluids in it too. Oh, shoots. I just realized. Oh, I guess it's going to have to wait till tomorrow. Because I don't think I have any distilled water left. And I bought the good stuff. So I need distilled water. So I'll have to stop. I'll have to run by. I'm going to have to run by the store tomorrow and get some distilled water so that I can fill this radiator back up. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of antifreeze in it now, about a half a gallon, because I guess I lost at least that much. That way I can start it and check everything, and then tomorrow we'll tank it up and take it for a drive. Romulan ale. It's European blue. It's supposed to be good for you. Oh, it's full already. I guarantee she's airlocked. That's great. So we're going to have to start it. And I'll pour it in as it runs. Yay. Okay, well, let's clean up this mess. And we'll start it, and hopefully it'll suck some of that in there, because she's definitely going to be somewhat airlocked. slow, so we're gonna put the cap on. Well, no more squeaky water pump, so I guess that was it. I'm going to go in the car and I'm going to watch the temperature. Well, the temperature's climbing inside. The thermostat hasn't opened yet. It's definitely getting warmer on the inside. Belts all look good. Can't open the cap, still water wants to come out. Once the thermostat opens, it should pull all this in. Hopefully it will open. I'm going to go watch the temperature gauge some more. Alright, watching it climb. Guess I better turn the heat down so you don't have to listen to that fan. When the thermostat opens, you'll watch that needle drop, or it'll just stay put, and then we'll go see if the hose, the upper hose going to the radiator is getting hot, and if it is, that means that thermostat opened. And then we got to check the fluid because there's probably a big air bubble in there. And the thermostat in this car has never really worked right, and it used to barely get out of that, it wouldn't even get out of that blue range there, that cold. So this is probably the warmest it's ever gotten. If it starts creeping up above the half mark, then I'm going to have to maybe go burp the system. Well, I've been letting it run for about 15 minutes now, and that needle is just staying right there. The upper hose is not getting warm, but it's not, the engine's not getting hot, so although I'm starting to see some steam, I don't think I like that. But alright, I'm going to go shut her down. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm letting all the air out of the system by loosening this clamp. You can see some steam coming out too. I'm being careful not to let it blow off and, you know, get all in my face. But I've let quite a bit of the pressure out. That's allowing water into this hose. This hose wasn't getting warm. Now let's see if I can pull this off without losing fluids. Nope, it still wants to bleed out. So there's still some pressure in the system. But what's happening is there's air trapped in the engine. And I'm having to bleed out that air. And the only way to do that is to just slowly let it leak out through these clamps. I'm not feeling or hearing any more pressure in that one. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get this cap to come off without losing all the fluid I just put in it. I'm losing a little bit. Losing a lot. Okay. So maybe we'll just have to keep bleeding air. There's definitely plenty of fluid in there. And I'm making a mess. But we'll just keep warming her up, bleeding her out. Well, it's looking like there's no water even in the hose yet. So I've come up with a brilliant plan. And that brilliant plan is to pour water directly into the hose. this engine's pretty darn hot right now, so I might give it a minute to cool down. But what I'm going to plan on doing is I'm going to put that in there. I'm just going to fill the engine up because this is the live feed into the engine. The thermostat actually allows it to go in through the bottom, which is kind of backwards from most cars, but that's how this one is. This is open into the engine, and then the lower hose is what comes off the thermostat. So, that being said, I'm going to let it cool off a little bit, let it off some steam, shall we say. I'm going to go move my truck that's also broken, so I have to tow it. And then we're going to get, that way I can pull this outside because I'm making an awful mess in here. Well, the engine's still pretty hot, so I'm a little bit leery. So I'm just going to pour real slow. Probably the most horrible pouring jug I have ever encountered. I don't know how much of it's going in and how much of it's falling out. Kind of want to get this hose up here, like so. Maybe, hope it's not corrosive because it's all over the front of my car now. Maybe just do it this way. Well, I'm hearing all sorts of funky noises. I think it's pouring out of the radiator. It's throwing money away. Alright, where's my light? Here it is. Is that what's happening? It's just dripping out. Oh yeah, it's just dripping out of the radiator. Alright. So that's not working. I'm pouring it in there. It's going right through to the radiator. So I guess we're back to doing this. I don't know how to get it to go into the engine. Whatever happened to a good old-fashioned radiator spout, you know? So the radiator's full. And if the radiator's full, then it should be full up to here. So that should mean the engine is full. Should. Keyword here being should. This pretty much full. So let's go ahead and try it again and see if she's still getting hot. I don't know how else to burp the system. If there's air trapped in here, I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to get rid of it. So let's try starting it up again and see what happens. Well, there it is. She's running good. It took a while to burp all that air out of there. That was a humdinger, to say the least. Eventually, I guess pouring that into that top hose worked. Wasted a little fluid, but I've got good heat, and that's kind of the way you tell when you're not getting heat. You still got air in that system because it's not getting up high enough in the engine to feed the heater. And it got to a point where I could get heat if I revved the engine, but I wouldn't have any heat at idle. So that still meant there was some air bubbles. And I eventually got those worked out, just burping that system like I showed you, just letting the air out and steam and whatever else. But it seems to be good now. We took it for a little ride. It's my daughter's birthday today, so we're going to go spend the day out, and hopefully this will perform flawlessly. The last thing we want to do is get stuck on her birthday. That'd be a bummer. But anyway, I'm going to spend the day with my daughter. Thank you for watching.